Hi, I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Wellness Revolution podcast. And today I have a really special guest. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's a public speaker. He's some kind of in shape kind of guy from what I've seen on the call here so far. The guy's got some muscles, and he also has a thing called Naked Warrior Recovery, where he works with service members who have some PTSD issues as well. So, a guy who's really committed to service and making a difference with people. So, William, welcome to the show today.
Mark, thanks for having me on here. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great.
And I just did some push-ups just to look good for you on camera.
Awesome. I just ate breakfast.
I haven't had breakfast yet.
Awesome. So, William, you were involved in the military for how many years?
Yes, sir. 26 years. I was in SEAL teams for 23 of those 26 years.
And
I
so
made some tactical errors in the beginning. So my first 3 years, I spent a year in school and then 2 years on a ship. And then after that, I was like, I joined the Navy to be a SEAL, so let's get to SEAL training.
so you joined the Navy to be a SEAL. What had you have that calling?
I grew up poor, insignificant, but I was heavily involved in the Boy Scouts. I always knew I wanted to be part of some sort of elite, small unit military organization, although I had no idea what that was. My dad was in the Navy. He was a CB. My grandfather was in the Navy. All the men in my family were in the Navy, and I swore that I would never join the Navy. But again, I was heavily involved in the Boy Scouts, and we were very poor. But because I was heavily involved, the Boy Scout organization that I was a part of, they sent me to this national jamboree in Fort A.P. Hill, Virginia. And I met a kid at that jamboree who he had his whole life already planned out for him. He said, after he graduates high school, he's going to go to the Naval Academy. He's going to fly F-14 Tomcats and he's going to be a Navy SEAL. I was like, that's awesome. I want to do that. What's a Navy SEAL? And he explained, what that was to me. And I was like, awesome. I came back from that jamboree. And about 2 weeks later, the Navy recruiter called my house and said, hey, man, have you ever thought about joining the Navy? And I was like, if he had called me before that jamboree or I had not done that, I would say, no way, no how. I do not want to be in the Navy. But there's this thing where you can't become a Navy SEAL unless you join the Navy. So
Oh,
I joined the Navy. I went to boot camp. I failed this Navy SEAL screening test the first time I took it. I went to my technical school for the Navy. I should have taken the screening test then, but I didn't. I took another school because I thought I'd get in better shape, then go to BUD/S. But because I took this other school, I ended up on a ship in Yokosuka, Japan for 24 months. And because of that school, I still almost didn't get to become a Navy SEAL because when I called my detailer, the guy who says you're going to this ship or that ship or this next job or whatever, I said, hey, Chief, I'm going to put a package in to become a Navy SEAL. And he's like, you're actually not going to become a Navy SEAL because of that school you went to 24 months ago. That makes you too critical to the Navy. You're more critical than SEALs are. And so he's like, you're never going to become a Navy SEAL. And I didn't take that as okay. I waited until one day the chief of naval operations came to my ship in Yokosuka, Japan, who is the most senior person in the Navy. The only people more senior to him in the military is the Secretary of Defense and the President of the United States. So he came to my ship and said, hey, here's my vision of the Navy and the Pacific for the next few years. Does anyone have any questions? I raised my hand and said, yes, sir, I have a question. And he said, I was the second person he called. I said, yes, sir, I joined the Navy to become a Navy SEAL. My detailer said, my job is too critical here. I disagree. I think I deserve a chance to become a Navy SEAL. What do you think? He turns to my commanding officer and says, is he a good guy? And he was like, yeah, he was a sailor of the quarter this quarter, kind of like employee of the month. And he turns back to me and says, check, you'll be in the first class after your PRD, which is planned rotational date. 6 weeks later, I'm off to California to start my career as a Navy SEAL.
wow. And when did you join? At what age did you join the Navy?
18 years old, straight out of I actually joined 17 years old in the delayed entry program. So I joined the Navy, finished my 12th grade of high school, turned 18, and then right after high school went off to boot camp.
Wow. And you had this desire the whole time. Were you real athletic in high school as well?
I didn't have great grades, and so my dad said, "You're not going to be a part of any like sporting team or anything else. No football, no nothing, unless your grades are you're doing straight A's." And I was a very easy C student across the board. I had no natural athletic ability whatsoever. I was okay at running, and then I thought I was good at running until I got to SEAL training, and I realized that I suck at running. So, and I realized I hate running, I hate swimming, I hate doing all these other things that you're required to do to be a SEAL, but I did them anyway, because I showed up and I was like, how hard can it be? Well, it's pretty darn hard, but I did it anyway.
Got me snorting on that one, man. So I'm just listening to you talk. You hate running, you hate swimming, weren't that athletic, C student, and now you're doing all these great things, and you're in some kind of shape. You look like you're pretty athletic to me now. So
I have to no natural athletic ability. I find that I have to work harder than everyone else to achieve the same results, which I actually have found as a superpower. If I want those results, if I want to look like that, if I want to have those results in business or whatever it is, then I have to put forth more effort. I can't be lazy about it because I'm naturally lazy. I think a lot of us are.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
I have to discipline is a very big deal in my life because if I'm not disciplined, I'm not going to do it.
yeah, and it's interesting. You got to get outside your comfort zone to do things, or the way I equate it here, you got to get outside your familiar zone to really be successful
Right.
in life.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
because most people are familiar with being lazy and miserable, and the more misery they have, the more lazy they become.
It's true.
Yeah,
Feeling sorry for and I can be just as lazy, I can feel just as miserable, I can feel sorry for myself. And I catch myself doing that sometimes. I have to
get into action.
grab myself and shake myself a little bit and get your stuff together. Is that really the life
Yeah,
you want to live? No. So
yeah. Or walk around the house. I notice those voices in my head. Just shut the fuck up already,
right,
man. Just
exactly.
shut up.
Let's go.
Let's
Just
go.
do something.
Yeah,
Go work out. Start moving.
go
And I
do
found
something.
when I find myself in those kind of feeling sorry for myself or stuck or whatever it is, I just have to change my location, change where I am, even if it's just get in the car and go for a drive. It
Yeah,
changes my mentality. It changes my state. It changes everything. And so go for a walk, go for a drive, go work out, go do something else, and it puts me in a different state of mind.
I do. You ever seen the Muppets?
Yes.
The Mana song, Mana Mana doo 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 doo.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever
yeah,
see?
yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
So if I'm walking around, I start doing the Muppet song. I, no matter if I'm in no matter what kind of mood I'm in, the if for me to stay, I can't do the Muppet song and stay in that same mood. It
Oh,
has
absolutely not. No,
it
it automatically puts a smile on your face.
automatically puts a smile on my face. So I have have clients too that they'll call me up in a shitty mood. I go, okay, I can get you out of this really quick. Can you stand on one foot, hop around in a counterclockwise circle, and sing Jingle Bells? And they get anything, anything to create a pattern disrupt, anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And the kind of the more stupid it is, the more embarrassing you become of it, the better it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so fun. Uh, so tell us about your business.
Oh, so I have a couple of businesses. We'll talk about Naked Warrior Recovery first. Naked Warrior Recovery is a CBD company that I found that in when I retired from the military, I, I don't like to say depressed or PTSD or anything like that, but I was certainly not in a good place. And so I was drinking myself to sleep every night. And I knew that that's not the way that I wanted to live. However, that's the modality that I used. That was vodka was my medicine of choice.
Wow.
And so it was glasses and glasses and glasses of vodka and try to wake up the next morning and perform at any kind of level. It just doesn't happen.
Wow.
And so I had heard about this molecule called CBD. I finally decided after about a year of being out of the military that I would try it. What I found is it seemed to turn down the noise in my head. Vodka was just dulling everything out, but CBD slowly kind of turned down the noise in my head so I could have more positive self-talk and things like that. Maybe I slept a little bit better. So a buddy of mine actually gave me my first bottle of CBD. He was a little bit of an Instagram influencer. He was someone who I served with in the SEAL teams. He was like, "Oh, you want CBD? I've got a bottle." He gave me a bottle. And I feel like, I like to say water boils at 212 degrees, and I was probably living my life at 210 degrees. And so it didn't take much for me to hit that red zone, for me to just lose my cool. And so what I found over time, over that 30 days of taking CBD, I went from 210 to 205 to 200 to 195 to 190 and got out of that red zone. And I was operating more in an orange, maybe dark yellow zone. And then I ran out of that bottle and, life seemed to be better, but then things started getting worse and I didn't understand really what it was. Why are these things bothering me that weren't bothering me for a super long time? And it turns out it was, I thought, well, maybe it was a CBD. I have no idea, but let me try a different brand and see if I have similar results. And so I had very similar results with a different brand. And so I decided to start my own CBD company because if it helps me, it can help other people, veterans, first responders,
Yeah, yeah.
stay-at-home moms, whoever it is. And so I started Naked Warrior Recovery. Then I found out I don't know how to market or run a business or anything else. And so I hired some business coaches and, so they helped me market and do all those other things. But they also asked me, why are you not speaking and why are you not coaching people? I was like,
Right.
what am I going to talk about? I have no idea what I'm like, what to say or what to
Great
do or how
place
to
to
coach
be.
anyone. Exactly. And so they're like, yes, you do. You just need to go figure it out. And one of my coaches made me create a signature presentation, which we call the signature presentation. It's something that you're an expert in. It's something that you can deliver in 15 minutes or an hour and a half, depending on how you scale it and what your audience and time is and all that other stuff. So I created a signature presentation. And so now I became a public speaker. In that process, they're also like, why are you not coaching people? I'm like, what am I going to coach people on? They're like leadership and business and all these other things. I'm like,
Uh,
okay. And so I started coaching people for free. And now I charge people a significant amount of money. So that's my 5 SEAL secrets on the speaking side, on the coaching side. And then recently, about a year ago, I started a small in-person coaching session where I call it the SEAL Leadership Challenge. And it takes place currently in Temecula, California, where I bring men and women in. It's a 12-hour evolution, and we do some run the obstacle course. We run through the house like a kill house, like we do in the SEAL teams or a SWAT team, like show you how to clear your house. We do some ground fighting. We do some other things, and I apply every one of those lessons to leadership. How does this apply to leadership? How does that apply to leadership? All the lessons learned for everything that you do in your life, because everything you do in your life has something to do with leadership, whether you're leading yourself, leading your business, or leading your family.
family.
Everything has to do with leadership. So I apply everything to leadership, protection, all these other things. And so that's the SEAL Leadership Challenge. And those are the kind of the businesses that I have going currently.
Awesome. So
I stay relatively busy.
Yeah, it sounds like you do. And it's as fast as you talk, you should be able to do really, really well. Awesome. Where are you from originally?
Originally from Mississippi. Poor kid, poor white trash, country bumpkin, Mississippi. And I don't have any plans of ever moving back there.
Gotcha. Your
Not that it's a
accent,
bad place; it's a fantastic place. But
your accent is other than I wouldn't have pegged you in for Mississippi.
I worked hard because people had a hard time understanding me, and so I decided to change how I was talking and the accent that I was using, which was funny because when I came back from boot camp, I went to my barber to get a haircut, and he asked me why I was talking like a Yankee. I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I had this weird pulling in two different directions, like how I'm supposed to speak or what accent I'm supposed to use. And so when I go back home or hang out with some old friends, I will certainly some of that drawl will come back and some of that slang will certainly slip back in there.
So can you share excuse me, can you share the 5 secrets?
Yeah. So the secret is you as you read my shirt is you have to get naked. So naked is an acronym. The N stands for never quit, and I don't mean never quit smoking or drinking or anything like that. I mean never quit on yourself. If you have like a big goal, what you do is you break it up into small pieces and you attack one of those pieces, one or more of those pieces every single day. You just keep going until till that mission is complete. The A is accept failure because failure has been the biggest teacher of my life. The K is to kill mediocrity because let's be honest, society wants us to be mediocre. We're easier to control when we're mediocre. The E is expose your fears. I don't mean, don't have fear because courage comes from fear. Courage is doing something in the face of fear.
Fear. Yep.
And then D is do the work. So it's never quit, accept failure, kill mediocrity, expose your fears, and do the work. And you have to do it every single day. And because we're talking about thinking like a Navy SEAL, you have to get naked. We're taking action. We're getting naked. And so when I wear my, apparel like that, out in public or on flights or whatever, it definitely gets people's attention. And she's like, what does that mean? Why are we getting naked? Why are we taking our clothes off on the airplane? I'm like, now you know.
Fun.
Why not?
Yeah. Except for you and you keep them on. Yeah. It's for me, when I heard that you'll get naked thing too, it also resonates with me about being authentic. So
100%.
Yeah. So one of the things I used to do, I used to try to have a false persona of what I wanted everybody to think, see me as, and the person behind the false persona was crumbling, but I would try to put on this air in front of everybody. And the bigger the chasm got between my how I was when I was by myself and that projected personality, the more tired I became, the worse my voices in my head became. And trying to hide all that stuff was terrible. Now if I screw up, I'm gonna be the first person to tell on myself, man. Just get it all out, man.
Oh, absolutely. That vulnerability is huge. And that's actually where Get Naked started. It was about taking that ego off, taking that armor that you're hiding behind off. So
Yeah.
you expose yourself, become so that you can become your most authentic self, so you can find the healing that you actually need.
Yep.
When you hide behind that ego, that mask, that armor, whatever it is, you can't find the healing that you need because you're still pretending to be something else.
Yep.
When you
And
take it off and you're like,
you damn sure can't lead.
no, absolutely not. Absolutely
Because
not.
if people find out what you're hiding and they expose it,
Right.
there goes your leadership ability. You got to lead. You got to air it all out.
Right. You have to be your authentic self. Exactly. If they show that you find out that you're a phony, it's all over.
So, yeah,
Your credibility is gone. Your trust is gone. And once you lose trust, it is very hard to get back.
yes, sir.
Not impossible, but very hard to get back.
Yeah, yes, sir. So, what type of people do you work with? Companies, I guess. Let's start with the company side.
I generally entrepreneur, but also some corporate organizations, investment banks, things like that. I work with gyms, I work with marketing agencies, I work with solar companies, and that's more on the entrepreneur side, but also some corporate companies, software, tech companies, things like that. Really, I like working with the C-suite, and
Right.
with the leadership. But I will also work with mid-level management, which is also awesome.
Right. How big a companies are you working with?
The biggest company has 85,000 employees.
Whoa.
But I'm only working with a handful of people in that company. It's an
Right.
investment bank and it's overseas.
Gotcha. Awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, I'm still always looking for new clients and companies to work for, to share, and help them perform at a much higher level.
So, do you have a team that you work with as well, or are
It's
you?
myself and one other person.
That's a lot of business, dude. Congratulations.
Well,
And
thank you.
And you recently moved from Hawaii to Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
What had you do that move to Connecticut?
Uh, I was really tired of flying across that ocean, and my partner lives in Connecticut, so I moved here with her.
Okay. I had a feeling there was a woman involved. I just had a
There's
feeling.
always a woman involved. Yes.
That's how I moved to Florida.
It's
And that's why I'm
a
moving
woman.
to Ocala now.
And you know what? Napoleon Hill talks about in several of his books. The woman that you choose in your life is really going to determine your success or failure.
Yes, sir.
And so, I mean, speaking about men specifically, but yeah, and so that was she's a very powerful person in my life, and so like, why would I be far away from her? I need to be near her so that we can grow together.
That's awesome. Congrats. That's another congratulatory thing, man.
Thank you.
Really, really
And
beautiful.
it takes a lot to get there and admit things like that. And like, I like to say I don't need anyone. That's a lie. I do. I need
Yeah.
lots of people. I need a team. I need close advisors. I need, my inner circle is very small. So
Yeah. No, my partner, if I'm in my shit, she just basically points her finger at me and just laughs at me. So, one of my core decrees is I love laughing with my partner. So if she starts laughing at me, I'm like, well, shit, we're already halfway here. I may
right.
as well join in, and now we're both laughing together. And it all that, stuff that would normally would trigger me with other relationships and be the bickering back and forth. Now we just laugh about it. It's over in seconds and right back in
Right.
the game.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's really, really
That's
fun.
superpower.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really special. So, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, sir?
I would say go to the website the number 5steelsecrets.com.
Uh-huh.
Download that ebook. It really explains what Get Naked, the Navy SEAL mindset, is all about. And that email comes straight to me. It comes from me. You might need to check your spam folder for that. for that document. But if you want to reach out to me directly, you can just reply to that email. It comes straight to my inbox. You can find me on Instagram, william.r.branum. You can find me on LinkedIn, William Branum. You can Google me, William Branum. I've done,
Yep.
I don't
And
know, probably in the
Branum is
B.
Branum.
Perfect. Yes, sir. And I've done, over 600 podcasts at this point since 2022. So I'm very easy to Google if you want to just Google me. Yeah, pretty much any social media platform you can find me, and I'm out there. I'm not
And
very active on X, but everything else I'm relatively
gotcha.
active.
And on your CBD company, are your products found for that?
NW-recovery.com is the website, which is interesting because I'm in the middle of a lawsuit right now for my CBD company because there's another company out there that claims that they own the word naked. And so I'm currently in a lawsuit with my CBD company, with this other company. And I'm like, really? I'm a service disabled, veteran owned small business. Why are you coming after me? And the name of my company has to do with the
Okay.
history of the Navy SEALs. Going all the way back to World War II, the predecessor of today's Navy SEAL, they were called Naked Warriors, Underwater Demolition Team, and so this company is suing me right now for trademark infringement for using the word naked. I'm like, but my company has historical,
Yeah,
relevance,
yeah.
and
It's
I'm not.
is that the juice company?
It's it is not. It's actually another supplements company.
Uh-huh.
The juice company was just sold by Pepsi for like $1 billion. And I asked this company, I'm like, well, the attorneys, I'm like, well, why do you not have a problem with them? They're like, oh, they're a juice company. We coexist with them. I'm like, well, I'm a cannabis company, and I have a
Right.
couple of like non-cannabis products at the end of the day. So why do you have a problem with me? Well, you're stealing and you're infringing on our trademark, but I'm not.
Gotcha.
I could go down that road, but it's like I like to throw that out there, like because people I like to practice gratitude is a superpower. And so what I found is, when I first got served, hey, we're going to sue you for this. I was very upset, and I was like, how do I don't have the time, money, effort, like I don't want to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I reframed it in my mind and said, I'm grateful for this. This is awesome. I get to be sued by, a predatory company because I will learn a bunch of lessons. I'm probably going to win at the end of the day. And when my clients get sued, I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
help walk them through some of that
yeah,
process,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also reframing what's going on in their head and sort of the negativity of it,
yeah.
and the fact that I have their attention, which means I'm doing something right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and if you really desire, when you really have the desire to improve yourself or really become great, the,
Be grateful for the troubles in your
yeah,
life.
here comes, here's a funny, real humorist. Like you look at the platypus, right? Like, so God got a great sense of humor. So you choose to be a great
Right,
coach. You choose to be a great coach. Coach your ass out of this.
right, yes,
Here's your
exactly,
lesson. Coach your ass out of this, and you'll become great. Because because inside that pain, you're gonna find your greatness.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And not many people think that way, but if more people think like that way, the world will be a better place.
Oh my gosh. And what I found out is that the pain doesn't have to become so great. You get where instead of being walking around numb and ignoring all the little subtle pains, you become I become heightened sense of those little subtle pains and get the lessons from them rather than getting slapped in the face with a cold mackerel.
Exactly.
So
Always better to, yeah, just take the negativity, like, yep, that's awesome, love it, bring it
yeah, bring
give
it.
me some more.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's why you go to the gym. You work out, you put your body under pressure, under
Stress. Yeah,
stress, things like that. Then you get stronger from it. The same thing, physical, emotional, mental, all of those stressors in life, those are
yeah,
good things for you that make you
yeah,
stronger, make you more
yeah.
mentally resilient, more physically resilient, more emotionally resilient.
Yeah, like the Japanese sword makers. There's fold the steel, fold the steel, fold the
Right?
steel, fold the steel, fold the steel. Did you know they looked at those swords under electron microscope and they found out that a master sword maker, when they folded the steel, the molecules begin to align in a grid pattern.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
And so that grid, that structure, that organization could cut through the chaos of an of a inferior sword. You could slice right through it.
Interesting. That's very cool.
I
I did not
know.
know that.
Yeah, when I
Now I have
read
to go
about that,
look
I was
up.
like,
Now I have to do a little sword sword making studying right now,
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's cool, man.
right?
Yeah. And same thing here. You have your standards, you have your, here's my system, here's what I do. If you don't have a system, you're never going to improve because
Never.
never. You got like, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm doing. I'm producing this result. Is this the result what I choose to produce? No, we can't like just time to adjust my system. But if you're throwing shit against the board to see what's going to stick, good luck with that.
Right. You definitely have to have processes in place.
Yep.
You can't just be like willy-nilly trying to figure it out. You actually can, and you can figure it out, but you'll be much more efficient and you'll get to a solution much faster if you have a process in place.
Yes, sir. So I got one question I ask people at the end of the show. What do you love about life?
I love everything about life. I love living life. I love getting up in the morning and getting after the day. I love going to bed at night with a beautiful woman that I love being with. I love spending my life with her. I love spending life with my kids. I love everything about life. I love the joy and I love the pain.
You open up a whole nother subject now. How many kids do you have?
I have 3 currently.
Currently, or you got another one? You're planning on another one?
If everything works out, we could bring another into the world. And I think the more the merrier.
Awesome. What do your kids think about what you're doing about pop?
I think they're very proud of me. I think they're excited. And yeah, actually, my 2 oldest kids, they haven't spoken to me for a very long time, years, like 5, 6 years. Recently, my son reached out to me. Finally, he's been tracking me on social media and things like that. And he's like, you know what, Dad, I'm ready to, be in your life again or have you in my life. He's like telling his friends about me. And so it's like, it's very exciting. My youngest daughter, she's like she's the most loving and most empathetic and proud kid on the planet.
Awesome.
Middle daughter still doesn't speak to me yet, but she will.
Yeah. Put your flag in the sand, claim this is who I am, and people will rally around you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, William, it's great having you on the show. I really appreciate
Thank you, sir, for having me.
I love your energy, man. Love your energy. So, blessings to you on your journey, and may 2025 be your best year yet.
Yes, sir. Same to you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.